can tapper. Can fit a variety of size cans. It has valve cores in it, and the 1/4-inch valve core needs to be removed in order for the butane to be able to flow through the valve core. Use that. Take it out. There's a metal ball inside. Make sure the metal ball doesn't come out. Leave the remaining valve core in place. This is the purge port for the system. It allows you to pull the vacuum on the system and to put the butane into the system. That's a valve core removal tool. It's merely stored in the purge port, so remove it and place it aside. It's also how you take the valve cores out of the system. Valve cores, like your bike tire, it holds the air in. When you put the butane into the system, make sure you take the valve core out, as it likes to freeze up and not allow the butane to go in efficiently. The hose onto the can tapper. Use the supplied 1/4-inch coupler, attach it to the top, attach the valve and short hose on with the valve closest to the can tapper. Get your recovery hoses set up nice and square, tight on there, so both the valves are facing up. On this tank, in the center, there's a safety valve. The longer side is the straw. This is the non-straw side. This is where you recover it into. This is how you get the liquid out of the tank. It's a siphon valve. Everything's been Teflon taped. All the gaskets have been put in. Everything's nice and tight. Let's start to connect them over here. So let me show you something about these hoses. These hoses have one end that has a 45, the other side's straight. The side with the 45 has a valve core compressor in it. In the event that the valve core is ever in the system, you need to use the side with the valve core compressor on it to open the valve core, or you won't get let in. This side doesn't have it, this side does. First, and it's also how you put the butane in. This is the Appian. The gauges on the Appian should be straight up and down and wide open. Don't pay any attention to them, they're not important. The filter dryer goes on to the Appian like so. Make sure the arrows are going in the direction of the pump. It's nice to hang the straight non-45 side off of the manifold set. The 1 pound extractor, it's set up like so. This is the 1 pound recovery tank. We're going to take it off and do the 2.5. Show you the 2.5 as well. Hand tight on these fittings. extra supplied line is used to attach to your vacuum pump and interface with the purge port to pull a vacuum on the system. 3 reasons. 1, to get butane out of its explosive range, which is from about 1.8 to 9% mixture with oxygen. Another reason is to make sure we're not leaking air in, therefore we shouldn't leak butane out. And the third reason is because the recovery tank in our butane source is going to be a higher pressure than the extractor, which is at -30, and it's going to cause the butane to flow from the can of butane into the extractor, from a higher pressure area to a lower pressure area. So let's get started. Okay, now we've reached 30. Staying at -30. Make sure it's not leaking, it's not moving, no oxygen. Butane's going to go in great. Alright, so disconnect the line hooking your vacuum pump to the system. Set it aside. Grab your can of tane. Make sure everything's down. Tap it about 1 inch up from the bottom, not on the seam. Make sure your valve's off. Simple. Lock it. Now we're going to do a low flow attachment. Push the oxygen out of the line. All these valves are shut. Now, dump it into the extractor. We're going to hit positive pressure on the loose side gauge. Now we're out of vacuum. We're off to the races. The tane's rifling in. So we're going to put, in the smaller extractor, the 1 pound extractor, put 5 to 6 cans. In the larger extractor, you can put 25 to 30 cans. In the event the pressure gets to 30 to 50, which it will, these cans will stop going in. At that point, you're going to shut the blue side gauge, recover the pressure in the extractor, which is the low side gauge, down to 0, and more will go in.